Everybody's so creative. You remember, first of all, remember that lady? I loved her. She got me through some real tough days during the Panini press. Oh my goodness. But that's kind of the theme I wanted to talk about today. Do we know about this? Do we know about this? So let me be the first to admit that I have not finished this book. The beauty of this book by Rick Rubin, let me first of all give you the full title: The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin, who is a world-renowned music producer who just, honestly, he just goes by feels and he's made hits and bangers. It's a gift. Going back to my original point of not finishing it, I have no guilt about that. I have no shame or guilt about it, because the beauty of this book is that you don't have to sit down and read it front to back. I think that this book is made in such a way that you could jump around and almost whatever theme you may need to hear and read at the time is what you need to give attention to. I'll just read a few of the chapter titles. Practice, Connected Detachment, What Works for You, Try Everything, Breaking the Sameness, The Abundant Mindset, The Experimenter and the Finisher, self-doubt. And today's topic, a mix of two: everyone is a creator and nature as a teacher. So in the opening pages of Rick Rubin's book, he talks directly to everyone and brings us into a moment where there is solidarity amongst us, and makes a bold statement that not too many people believe in. So many people I've noticed that have given so many doubts to that fact that they're a creator. One of my favorite ones is Dr. Tara. Y'all know about Dr. Tara? Dr. Tara is a neuroscientist. I want to get her credentials right. Dr. Tara Swart, a neuroscientist. Breeze feels so delicious. Isn't it just, delightful? But she talks about how to rewire your brain to manifest anything you want. And it all goes down to neuroplasticity. Anyway, she is a brilliant mind. And she's often said, oh, I just didn't think I was very creative. Meanwhile, this woman has written books and speeches. And if you listen to her podcast, one thing she had explored during the pandemic was, getting in touch with music and wanting to create a song and use her voice and all of these things. And she did it. Going back to the book, everyone is a creator. A bold statement, because there's so many people like Dr. Tara Swart who walk around believing that they're not creative, and so they don't even try to tap into that part of their brains. And I wonder what would happen if they did. Rick writes, creativity is not a rare ability. It's not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. To live as an artist is a way of being in the world, a way of perceiving, a practice of paying attention. A tuned choice by a tuned choice, your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. Damn. And this is what I mean by this book. Like, what he writes is so pithy and powerful that, to me, I can't just turn that page and go on to the next. I need to like sit with that. If I was still drinking, I would take a sip of whiskey on that one. I mean, cheers. On that topic, later on in the book, there's a chapter titled Nature as Teacher. And this chapter has me really thinking about how I spent this summer. And this summer was a summer of healing and restoration for so many reasons. Maybe one day I'll share the reasons why. But I found myself many days sitting still, being still, and listening to the wind and going to the beach and just sitting. I remember one day I got so caught up like editing a video while I was sitting on the beach. It had been hours and I didn't even really pay attention to what time it was until my phone died. That was one day. And then another day, I was just like in a meditative trance, just staring at the waves coming in and out. And so this chapter really means a lot to me because on page 53, and he writes, "There's a reason we are drawn to gazing at the ocean. It is said the ocean provides a closer reflection of who we are than any mirror." Another shot. you know, you know? So this week, Multifaceted Muses, I thought that I would just take some time to be a little bit more reflective. And it's so funny that I picked up this book last week and read that line because literally that's how I've been spending my days this summer. And as you know, the day I'm recording this is August 11th. I'll post this week coming up. But that just means that on this calendar, on this timeline, we're nearing the end of summer. And I thought it was a good time to just sit and be reflective a little bit. And I have to tell you that through the days of me sitting in yards or in parks and beaches and just restoring myself, I remember writing a piece that I just felt inspired by. This summer, not only was I sitting on the beach, but I counted the number of ocean kisses, aka the amount of times the ocean met my toes and splashed on me, and I felt such delight. And I remember talking to somebody and mentioning, "Oh yeah, I've been counting ocean kisses," and they immediately were like, "Ooh, like scandal, like ocean kisses. Oh, tell me more." Imagining, I'm sure, about a long list of lovers that I kissed by the ocean, and that reaction, I didn't give into it, but that reaction inspired me to write about the fact that nature is our teacher. Nature not only can teach us about ourselves, but it can also teach us about grace, the art of slowing down, and even love. So I think how I'll end this entry is to share a piece of art with you, starting with my words and possibly a visual. I hope I'm able to do that in time. Speaking of art, inciting art from nature to ourselves, the piece that I wrote also has a feature of one of my favorite songs that was featured in Black Panther. What is the latest one? Was it Black Panther? Wow, did you know that there's a third Black Panther coming out? It's called Shadows of Wakanda, coming out 2025. I just found this out. That Marvel Universe, man. But the song that has a feature of the piece that I wrote was Con la Brisa, and it was featured in Wakanda Forever. So, with that, multifaceted muses, I hope that everyone who touches my channel is reminded of the fact that you are a creative. And if you don't believe it, think about how you are wonderfully made and go stare at an ocean for a little bit. Sit there, and be one, and be still. I fully support that. I fully support you, and nature does too. Until next time, mwah, no bars. Here, there, to the people.
Now keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my
When you hear me say I've been counting ocean kisses, you imagine all the lovers I must have loved by, in, or near. How earthly. Don't you know Venus is in your presence and signs of love are all around? And you follow me into the deep for a beat, and maybe you'll change how you see and even see how you change. Sense is heightened sensuality, but only if we open the gift of presence. So tell me, what frequency are you on? Are you present enough to see it? To feel it? Have you discovered the playful, teasing kiss of the ocean? Do you hear the breezes whisper under the night sky and how it urges in soft, muted tones to listen with your heart? You will understand. Caressed by the wispy, cool summer air, sensational and sentimental, much like a lover's ginger touch on your lower back. How will you know the sparkle in someone's eyes if you don't notice the ones above in the cloak of dark? Entre las sombras, mi amor, tú eres el mayor destello. Qué bello, qué bello. Por eso es que, mi amor, me recuerdas tanto a ello. Qué bello, qué bello. Can you sense the magic of love in solitude so you can begin to sense it in shared breath? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've gotten carried away and I've lost count from counting.